wall maps and timeline are a major part of what makes the Bible Study Guide unique. The timeline helps you put into context whatever part of the Bible you're studying. In a very simple way, it outlines Bible history and allows students to interact with it constantly so that they really understand the big picture of the Bible and how everything fits into that big picture. When you take the timeline out of the package, it is brightly colored but almost completely blank with just a few dates serving as anchor points along the way. Very quickly though, you end up placing a few important people on the timeline. Adam and Eve, Abraham, Moses, David, Jesus. It's quite handy that Abraham lived about 2000 BC. Moses lived about 1500 BC, David about 1000, and of course Jesus was born at 0. Using just these few people, we can briefly sketch the Bible history. In the beginning, God created the world. Adam and Eve were the first man and woman He created. A little bit later, God chose Abraham, and He promised Abraham that He would raise up a great nation through him, and that the whole world would be blessed through his family. Well, the Israelite nation came from Abraham, and the Israelite nation became slaves in Egypt, but God chose Moses to lead them out of Egypt. He gave them the law of Moses. Then they went to Canaan, the promised land. And when they arrived there, they settled there for a few hundred years, and then they had kings, and David was the second king of Israel. And God made a promise to David. God said, "David, a king from you will always rule." 1,000 years of Bible history come about, and then Jesus comes onto the scene. Jesus is born, and about 33 years later, Jesus dies, and yet He is raised from the dead. And the good news of Jesus is that He is the promised one. He is the one who blesses the whole world, the descendant of Abraham who blesses the world. He is the descendant of David who is the king forever. And better yet, we are in God's plan. Here we can attach the year and put our names on here. We are in God's plan because Jesus came for us. Those who put their faith in Him can live with Him forever because He is coming back. The labels for the wall maps and timeline are made out of sturdy cardstock. You take a small piece of reusable adhesive putty, like Handy Tack or Fun Tack, place it on the back of the label, and you can put it on the timeline. You can take it off and put it back on as many times as you like. You can even give the labels to the kids, and they can place them on the timeline where they belong. It's a fun, interactive tool to teach Bible chronology. The maps do the same thing, just with biblical geography. The maps come with only land, water, and a few borders marked, and you put the places on the map as you study them. You can take them off and put them back on with ease. There are 3 maps that come with the set. One is a large map that encompasses everything from Persia all the way to Italy. The other 2 are close-ups of the land of Israel. One shows the borders of the tribes of Israel and is used in many of the Old Testament lessons. The other shows the borders of Galilee, Samaria, and Judea and is used mostly in the New Testament lessons. Over the course of your study through the Bible, you apply and remove a lot of labels. The label book contains the organization system for all your timeline and map labels, so that finding the label you need is easy. It also gives you detailed instructions and contains keys so that you can apply all labels to the correct time or place.